racing at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach.
This is the streets of downtown Long Beach. The street circuit itself is unreal. You know, the features where you're going around the fountain and you're in between the buildings and you're blowing underneath parking structures.
Well, engines will be roaring through Long Beach this weekend. The Acura Grand Prix is back after it was put on hold last year due to the pandemic.
It was super intimidating, I would say at first. We're racing the streets with barriers and fencing.
And for anyone who hasn't come out and taken part in this before, this is a track that winds right through Long Beach.
What it means for Time Attack to go to Long Beach is it's real amateurs being able to compete on the same weekend as the top professional motorsport in North America, is IndyCar. It's unheard of. What other form of racing can you build a car in your house and go race the same weekend as IndyCar, let alone a street circuit?
Our pits were super awesome. We were actually in the convention center, which was pretty cool. I mean, we had a great spot right there by the door, so we were one of the first people that got in and out of there. It's pretty nice.
So I was invited by the Global Time Attack and the Long Beach Grand Prix to visit some schools ahead of the event and talk to kids about being a race car driver. And you know, it's schools all over Long Beach, and to kind of share my experience and my story and get these kids stoked about the races in their hometown.
Hi guys, I'm Cole Pelson. I'm 35 years old. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah, and this weekend I'll be racing a Nissan GTR.
The first school I walk up to was the largest attended school. So I thought we were doing classes, like maybe 100 kids, you know, a few classes, a single grade or something like that. No, we rolled into the first school, there's 620 kids, and it was like, all right, it's showtime. We wear full fireproof gear. We've got a fireproof helmet, a head socks, and we even wear fireproof underwear.
You wear fireproof underwear? I do.
On day 2, Carla joined me, and it was fantastic having her there as well. It was great to have a woman in motorsports being represented, especially for the Time Attack side of things. She's got a great story, and it was really cool to engage with all these kids. It was the coolest thing I've done in racing that wasn't driving a race car.
Friday was the first practice. We go out there.
Come on! Immediately pull into the pits, transmission issues, and I blame Kyle. You know, he drove it to the car show the night before and messed with my buttons, my switches, so totally Kyle's fault. And so I pull out, car's not right, immediately into the pits.
Something's fucked!
We're on like 10-minute sessions. We only get a couple laps.
I can't get the transmission into R mode. It's not happy.
We were off to kind of a rough start at that point. Come in, cycle the key, run through some stuff, boom, solved, hit the track. At this point, I'm a lap plus down, and now I'm in the middle of lap traffic. So trying to learn it as quick as possible. I'm putting laps down, weeding through traffic, a lap and a half in. Boom! Owie! Why does my ankle hurt? That's a weird noise. And I'm looking in there and the wastegates are glowing bright red, like liquid molten lava red. And then like a flash, a fire comes out from the trans tunnel as it ignited. What the hell just happened? Like, it just happened like that. I was scared. I was about to pull the fire system. Like, this is awful. All of these things happening, and I was on lap 2. You know, didn't even get a second lap to put down.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, we're just gonna flat tow you out of here.
Okay, I got my tow hook. We get the car back to the pits, haul it in there, hate coming back on a hook. It was the worst first best lap ever. And I thought at that point our weekend may have been over. I honestly, my initial thought was, hey, this damaged engine that you rolled down here with is now gone. I can see inside, and they're glowing. They're so fucking hot. No!
The U-joint broke. It definitely took something. We got oil all on it. Holy shit.
Come to find out, you know, take a second, breathe, get the car off the track, look at it. And yet another drive shaft failure, but it wasn't the drive shaft that failed. We'd moved the wastegates from the drive shaft up to the bell housing and melted basically the bell housing bearing, causing massive failure on that bearing. So the bearing started beating around and then tweaked the shaft, and the shaft whipped around, smashed through the trans tunnel and hit my ankle. And it's like, oh, great. Now instead of melting drive shafts in a safe point, we're melting bell housings and the bearing associated with that because it's not far enough out of the way. Not enough heat shielding and all that.
How did that do that? Did that break and then that caused the U-joint to fail and explode the whole thing?
Way worse than any other break we've had thus far.
Here we are, once again. Broken car, potential's there, decisions to be made.
I thought we were really out because of how bad it was, but Nate was like, there's no way we can pull the bell housing without taking the motor out. We can do it from the bottom, so let's go for it. And I was like, well, Nate, it's your call. If you think we can do it, let's do it.
And there was just a number of different issues that were working against us at this point. And so Mark, Nate, Mike got together, start making the list. These are all of the things, you know, if we're gonna proceed, these are all the things that we need.
Parts that broke, I mean, it was the bearing in the bell housing, so that was exploded. Prop shaft blew again, and Kyle took off. He started sourcing parts and everything, drove around till I think 9 o'clock at night, just trying to find these different pieces and parts that we needed. And then we started putting it all together, and it was quite a thrashing. I mean, me and Nate were nuts to butts pretty much the whole time. And
the team worked into the night, covered in fiberglass from the heat wrap that was disintegrated from catching on fire. And it was a strong team effort that night. We're there till whatever, 3 in the morning. We're the only people in the whole convention center. Security guards were nice enough to leave the lights on for us, and the team did a knockout job of getting everything together and give us a shot the next day. We want to be in the hunt. We worked hard to be in the hunt. The decision was made that we could do no more than 1 flying lap at a time without risking the same failure. We came out of the gate and put down a lap. He went quicker?
Like 100 faster than you.
Damn, okay. It was competitive where Ferris had ended up. We knew he didn't have ideal lap conditions and had more in it. And as did we. That was really the second flying lap that we had. That should be 15s.
Would you want to take rear wing out of it?
No. And it was...
I like the car. I don't want to change anything.
Yeah, it was right out in front of me.
I like the car too, Cole.
Who wants to go to the beach?
Yeah, I like the
I don't
car
want
too.
you to change anything.
Don't change anything. It's great.
So yeah, right there.
That's where we parked it for the day. I think we were 3 or 4 tenths off the fast lap at that point, and I'm super proud of our team.
And CBS 2's Cara Finnstorm is live in Long Beach with what spectators need to know. Cara, I'm so jealous. It's so fun to be out in Long Beach. This is one of the best weekends out there.
Yay, have it back before dark. You can hang out as long as you want, dude.
Race day, get the car all ready, torque the wheels and everything. We go to stage the car, go to fire it up.
Bro, I don't even want to talk about that. Oh. Super secret. Shh, don't tell anyone. We almost didn't even go out on Sunday because the car wouldn't start.
Let's power cycle it. We start it, use the jumper.
We sat there, cycled it, did whatever we could. Mike's plugging into the computer, trying to figure out what's up. It's throwing codes. It won't even start.
Now it says no codes. I'm gonna clear it anyway.
We're literally staged to roll out on the circuit. I see the guys messing with the car. I see that look in their eye, that panic. Things are not going as planned.
We were right there at the last second, like about ready to push the car out of the way because we weren't even gonna be able to race on Sunday.
And so I'm sitting there just hoping things get sorted out. I don't know the severity of it, but it was like Nate standing on the intake manifold, looking down. We're grabbing wires, we're wiggling things, like it didn't make sense.
And then Nate finally was telling me, just cycle the key, cycle the key. I did it probably 15 times, and then finally it started.
Everything on command is at error.
Mike looked at me, he goes, don't turn it off. Whatever you do, do not turn this thing off. It probably won't refire. Okay.
That was crazy. One of the LTCs stopped working, the oil pressure sensor stopped working, CAN bus communication between the engine computer and the training computer stopped working. We tried a bunch of stuff, none of it helped, and then we turned the car off for like the 15th time and turned it back on, and it just started and everything was fine.
Our car was staged in the convention center and the hot pits were way down. Like, I mean, it felt like forever, but I'm running through the whole convention center. I had some lady, hey honey, you need to speed up, they're leaving you. And I felt like such a smuck, but I couldn't do anything. My arm was really gonna fall off if I tried to go any faster, but.
I absolutely loved it. Racing between the walls, just knowing there's really, really thin margins of air, but being able to go 10 tenths, you know, it's like to charge as hard as you want between these two narrow walls was unreal.
So good luck.
120, like 121. Ferris at a 119.
We went out, we put a time down. We definitely improved on our time, but you know, there was more in it. So we came in the pits, we cooled the car down, and I tried to go back out in the second run group, and they said, no, you don't get to run 2 run groups. Even though it was the same session, they didn't want to mix up that many cars on the track.
P2, Long Beach. Ferris got it. I tried to get out for another run, but we went quicker. There's more in it, but second place in Long Beach is still all right.
Definitely a fun battle. It was cool to get back in the hunt. I'm super proud of our team, overcoming all the adversity that we had to get back up there and did all the cool big boy race car stuff and went to the press box after and interviewed there and did the whole deal. So it was a top level world-class experience that we got to be a part of as just Time Attack guys.
I saw every color of light that Motec has to offer.
That's probably why.
But just to be around all the other people, it was an invite only for the Global Time Attack. We were one of 20 that they picked to go there. So we had to do a showing, we had to make it happen, and we did the best we could with what we had, and I think it turned out pretty okay.
The Time Attack guys showed really well, and you know, we're within striking distance of the fastest GT cars in the world with the best drivers in the world on a circuit that they've got hundreds of laps around, and we're doing 10-minute sessions. I think for Time Attack, we're just getting started. I know in Australia, those cars are even more advanced than anything that we have in the US, and as it continues to light off globally, you know, from Europe to Australia to North America, Japan, there are some very, very fast cars, and I think we're just starting to scratch the surface, and there's a lot more speed to be seen.
What goes through your mind when you lose a race?
I've got to work harder. I've got to go train. I've got to be better prepared. I have to build a better car. It just means that I've got to work harder and beat my competition.